What's up, guys? It's JT, and today we are going over the new Star Wars movie. And I'm so excited. I just saw it yesterday, and I'm like so excited. I have so many thoughts about it, and this is going to be spoiler free, but at the end, I'll have like a section just for spoilers, and I just talk about the movie. But without further ado, let's get into the video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and comment if you saw the movie and what you thought of it, because I want to hear your response as well. And let's go. Before we get into the review, I think it's important to let you know about the type of Star Wars fan I am, because I'm not one of those like bandwagon Star Wars fans who like buy every book coming out, buy every figurine. No. I am such a casual learner, and my favorite movie is #1, The Phantom Menace. But this one is now my favorite movie. So I guess do with that information as you will. Is it overhyped? Is it overhyped? No. The movie was fantastic. I almost cried, and my boy Nick almost cried through the whole movie, and we're dudes, and dudes don't cry, dudes don't show feelings. So the fact that we were almost crying is just crazy in itself. There are tons and tons of good moments. I will save them for the end when I talk about some of the better moments, but yeah, these was a freaking awesome movie, and I was so glad to see it. Would I watch it again? 100% yes. In fact, I plan on watching it again multiple times. Like I said before, I don't really know the Star Wars movie that well, and I'm not really a big fan of the franchise, so I'm not like the biggest fan. So for me to watch it over again, it was crazy. And Nick asked me a question. He said, Avengers, like the Endgame, or this movie? And 100% this movie. This movie was freaking amazing. I can't say it enough. Let's talk about the story. Was the story good? Yeah, it was pretty good. Honestly, at the beginning, it started off really slow. But once it like started rolling and it kind of set everything up, you're like, okay. I never really liked Rey as a character for the most part. I always thought she was like super angry, and I just didn't really like her character, and I didn't really like Kylo. And so for the most part, I was never really invested in all the characters in the movies to begin with. I'd watched the other two beforehand. So I really didn't care for most of the characters, but this movie made me care about the characters. I almost cried during these latter parts of the movie, and I cannot wait to tell you about them. Pacing wise, it was pretty, honestly at the beginning it was really slow, but it had a nice little build up, you know? It wasn't like the most action packed movie where everything on screen, something's always happening. No, it wasn't. And, you know, it's just a normal typical Star Wars stuff where things conveniently happen to come across. They happen to stumble into this place. Oh wow, it's just what they needed. You know, just kind of like, it was a little cheesy, but I didn't mind the cheese because it was a fantastic movie. The cinematography wise, fantastic. There is some CGI stuff I don't know how they pulled out, but it almost makes me want to work in animation just so I could work and learn how to do like really cool stuff like that, and I like loved it. So yeah, the story was really good, and I was so glad about the ending. I almost flipped out for a second. I almost like stood up in the theater and like flipped the chair and but I didn't end up doing it. But yeah, it was a good movie. Now, that was all the spoiler-free part. Now we're going over the spoiler part. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna fanboy here, just letting you all know. I'm gonna fanboy. Alright, at the very end, when Kylo, and we find out that Kylo Ren are dyads in the Force, never knew what that meant, by the way. And Kylo gave his life, and then they finally shared their first kiss, fam. What the fuck? They finally shared their first kiss. That was awesome. For like the whole series, they had this like really built up intimacy, and they had this one kiss, and then Kylo just faded away, along with Princess Leia and some other people of the Force. But it was really cool to see how like Kylo was also ended up turning into a Jedi at the very end. He rocked his little blue lightsaber and he slashed. And oh, speaking of lightsabers, at the very end when Rey buried the two lightsabers at Luke Skywalker's home at the very end, like to close out the movie, that was a nice like way to touch it into the back. I really like that. Oh my goodness, how could I forget? Kylo toyed with Ren's head through the whole movie, and I don't know how it hasn't become a meme yet. I mean, literally little things like, oh, you're not who you are. You know, I mean, I guess for the most part, like a lot of the lines were really cheesy. Like, I mean, they were really cheesy. I feel like they tried their best to make as many like one-liner, like really inspirational quotes, like put into, you know, the series, and it just, you know, at times it was a little over the top, but you know, almost every line could be used as like an Instagram quote, like, you know, you see them on little Instagram captions, like almost every line can do that, and you know, take it with that as you will. Oh, at the very end when all the rebels came, Fam. Okay. When the rebels came at the very end, I flipped out. The rebels were losing the battle. There's like a freaking billion Star Destroyers, and all of a sudden, everybody across the galaxy who hates the Empire came in, and they all fought against the Empire. Yo, when Emperor Palpatine got his little lightsaber, or his little got sucked the life force out of the dyad Kylo and Ren, and he shot his lightning up to the ceiling. Oh my goodness, fam! I did not know he could do that. I thought he only did this like in I think number 3, but fam, he straight up shot all his electricity in the side and destroyed almost every rebel ship. He's like a one-man Sith walking army. How crazy! But yeah, those were just the highlights of it, and I could go on forever about fanboying, but I don't want to fanboy forever because I'm a lot to handle, and I'm a very high maintenance person. But also shout out to my mom. She did all this stuff in the background, and it was really nice of her to do the stuff. I graduated, and so she decided to put together a bunch of stuff in my room, and just really thankful for that. I'm the first in my family, and she has a heart condition, so it's very hard for her to put these lights up, and then you can't see up here. Let me see if I can tilt the camera up. You see up there, like, there's stuff hanging from the ceiling. Yeah, she did all that. So that was really nice of her, and if you're watching, shout out to you, fam. Final thoughts, but I'll watch it again 100%, and you should 100% watch it again. Should you bring a girl on a date here? 100%. Is your boyfriend gonna love it? 1000%. I would honestly rate it maybe like a 9 out of 10. Not a 10 out of 10, but it was one of the better Disney movies. In case you don't know, my favorite movie, Disney movie in particular, is Trolls. So yeah, I loved it. Make sure to watch a little bit further, by the way, because I am inputting me telling Nick tons of jokes and him hating jokes that I tell him. So that might be fun. It's about a minute long, so if you like it, like it. But if not, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like the video, and make sure to comment what you thought of it, because this is like a discussion. This isn't just my opinion, me telling you my opinion, like my opinion's right. No. You have, in your opinions, just as much as valid as mine. So make sure you leave them in the description. Without a doubt, it's your boy JT, and I'm out. Alright, so while we're waiting for this movie to start, hey Nick, why doesn't Trump need glasses?
Why?
Because he's going to win 2020. Gang, gang. Hey Nick, ask me if I want to go to the beach.
No.
Why not? Ask me if I want to go to the beach.
Do you want to go to the beach?
Sure.
Cool.